I said the hip, hop, the hippie, the hippie, the hip, hip, hop, and you don't stop the rocket to the bang, bang, boogie. Say up, up, the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Now what the hell is to the twist, I'm rapping to the beat. I'm here, the groove, and my friends are gonna try to move your feet. Say I am on the move.
There is nothing like playing the Swedish Chef on a radio show. Celebrating 50 years of hip-hop, my friends. 50 years. Oh, I love it. There is the Swedish Chef. Good evening, everyone. It is a Sunday. It is officially 7 o'clock, and you know what time that means? It's time for another disingenuous edition of Let's Talk Oconee, where we lie all the time in this world of Oconee County politics. That's right. If you don't like us, then you better learn to love us, because I'm going to tell you something. We are the best thing going today. Woo!
Well, the thing you got to remember, too, is if they start hearing that noise, it's because we're enlarging the closet.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have to tell the workers, just let me know.
Oh, by the way, Rowan.
Yes, sir.
It's time for another bribe.
Oh! Well, I'm getting gas on the way home.
Well, that puts your street creds up a little bit.
Wait a minute. I had that float. You know, I put the right amount of air. I hope it was comfy.
It was very comfy.
Okay.
The only thing about it was even more comfy if you had offered me a chicken sandwich.
Well, no, but I did get you. I got out of the water.
You got me pretzels, though.
Well, no. And then the water. Remember when I got you that Yoo-Hoo and it was nice and cold?
Yeah, but I don't drink Yoo-Hoo.
Well,
I like you.
But I did write some things on your dock, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You know, you love certain people.
Oh,
no, they love him.
Well, hey, speaking of docks, I got something for you. You remember last week we had a problem with this boat that just mysteriously showed up on Highway 11? You remember last week?
Yes.
Well, let's move forward. Unfortunately, last night in the middle of Lake Kiwi, another boat. Well, this boat was actually holding up a Tahoe at Lake Kiwi Marina last night. The Seneca Fire Department, Oconee Rescue, Sheriff's Department, everybody had to respond to the mechanical failure of the vehicle.
No,
but
what
yeah,
was the mechanical failure?
We haven't figured that one out yet. we really don't know.
They were using a Bud Light instead of a flashlight.
Were they able to jump it and just drive it out?
No, that didn't happen. CAR-T reckon if Seneca had to come in and actually hook up to it and pull it off the boat ramp.
Well, don't forget about the pontoon that caught on fire last week in the middle of the lake.
And don't forget, they created a GoFundMe, too.
Oh, my gosh.
Are you believing that?
Well, hey, more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
I gave him
Somebody
$5.
created a GoFundMe for someone that their boat pontoon caught fire because they wanted to make the last payment on it.
How?
I don't even. We don't want to know. We're not asking any questions. But on top of that, they had no insurance either.
A GoFundMe for a boat for the last payment for a boat.
Yeah.
That they didn't have insurance on. What kind of mortgage company did they have that wouldn't make them have full coverage on it until it's paid off?
Don't know. That's the most craziest thing.
You know what?
That I've ever seen.
When you talk about that, I do not want anybody doing a GoFundMe so I can get a better towable for my boat. Nobody out there should do a GoFundMe for $350 so I can get a new towable. I won't accept it.
Is that all? Because if y'all will fund it, I'll pull his ass up and down Lake Kiwi all day long. Because I know there's people here who would just love to see your ass up and down the lake wide open. Whee!
No, that's me. That's me. That's what I'm pulling you guys.
But real quick, before we get into all the stuff we got to get into, talking about funding.
Yes.
Today is Julian's birthday.
Yes.
Is it really?
Yeah, I want to make sure that we give him a shout out.
Today is Julian's birthday. All right, ready? Happy birthday. Wait, no.
All right, slow down. I get the lead. Go ahead.
I'm going to do it.
Oh, that's right.
Happy birthday, Julian.
Happy birthday, Julian.
Happy birthday.
Go for it, Julian. Come on. We're not even done.
Oh, happy birthday, Mr. County Councilman.
Double R.
Well, we got a lot of show to talk about today. A lot of stuff. Disingenuous stuff.
What about that houseboat, the Julian?
What, the houseboat?
Yeah, the one that the roving studio. You know, I actually got the graphics today.
Yeah.
Remember, we decided we're going to call it the Julian.
Since apparently, Julian funds this radio show.
Well, yeah, but shit, you got to admit, this is nothing compared to giving us $35,000 for a roving studio.
Oh boy, we're gonna hit the lakes wide open. I tell you. By the way, Gladys, your wife says it's a perfect Maryland.
Thank you, Gladys.
No, thank you, Gladys. We appreciate all the support we can get since we're the worst radio show in all of Oconee County.
In a closet.
In a closet. What else? I mean, we're so disingenuous.
Show in Oconee County.
I mean, we're so disingenuous. I mean, you know, we lie all the time.
Wait, what's funny is, I wonder where he got that word anyway.
I don't know.
They do seem to come back around to it.
But,
if you ever
is that not
use
a
them.
word?
Yeah.
But stick a fork in me, I'm done. By the way, speaking of forks, we got a fork problem.
Oh, man.
Yep.
16-foot fork.
The 16-foot fork problem. We got a fork problem in Seneca.
People were all tore up about that fork.
I know. I mean, fork
There were
me.
some great puns, though. That was
That was one of the most entertaining posts on the Journal's Facebook
it
page
was. Yes,
that
it
I have
was.
seen in quite some
Yes.
time. You know, all right, so the Demas brothers has been lobbying to put a 16-foot fork in front of their restaurant over here off South 4th Street and Fairplay Street in Seneca. So it went before the board, our architectural review, design, whatever. And, of course, you know, it got shot down. So it came back up last week again. And, of course, it got shot down. But the more I read the comments, the more people are actually in favor of this. For me, I don't really care. If you want to put a fork up in front of your business, put a fork up in front of your business.
I care. I want one.
I think
I would have my picture taken next to
it's
that
a part of their logo design. The fork is.
Yeah.
And it's a restaurant. If you remember what it used to be prior to it being Demas Brothers,
Yeah.
it was Betty's Hungry House. Now, let me
Yeah.
tell you, it's the most run-down establishment you ever seen, but had some of the best country ham biscuits you'll ever put in your mouth. But no one said anything for 25 or 30 years. So I'm thinking, okay, you want to put a fork. You got a nice
They
restaurant.
didn't even have a paved parking lot.
No, it was gravel. It was gravel for years.
Yeah, I mean,
I remember when I first moved here, and me and my ex-girlfriend, we went down there to dinner. We went to breakfast.
When it was Demas Brothers?
No, when it was
Betty's?
Betty's.
Yeah.
And we're sitting down, and I in this along the wall, and I looked over, and I could see outside through the wall.
yeah,
Yeah.
there was holes.
There was holes.
They've completely redone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they
It's-
made it really
it's
nice.
Yeah, it's nice. And that was still part of Betty's Hungry House before the Demas Brothers bought it from the Oots family.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, let me tell you, Betty's Hungry House for
It was
years. It was delicious. They had some of the original biscuits in all of Oconee
And it was
County.
so good. You'd have sat outside at a table in the gravel, and it wouldn't have mattered.
Well,
Yeah.
But I guess on that side of town, I mean, we've not got to where we're revitalizing that part of
Well, that's
Seneca yet.
Well, that's the part
So-
of the historical district of Seneca. Okay, so the restaurant's been there. Everybody eats there. It's a great place. Good food. Don't get me wrong, but I'm having a hard time. There's so many more problems in Seneca that we're sitting here fighting over a fork.
Right.
So
Well,
fork
what's
me.
so trashy about a fork, though? I mean,
yeah.
it's just a fork.
It's a fork.
You know, and places have things like that. Was it Charleston was the Coble cow? You remember the Coble cow that's
Well,
been there
my
forever?
God, I remember BANTAM Bantam Chef.
Yeah, the
Big rooster in Walhalla.
I had the big rooster for.
I would have loved that.
They have it now.
Really?
They got a big chicken up on top of the Bantam
you
Chef.
can go to Tractor Supply and buy a large cock for your yard if you want.
How large of a cock can you get?
But there's, I mean,
It's
seriously,
at least 6 foot tall.
That's what I want.
did they not have a problem in Charleston with the Citadel cadets like riding the Coble cow for? Was it not a Coble cow
you-
that they
are
had
you
forever?
spell-
They would,
It was
they would climb
the Coble cow. It was the dairy cow.
Are you saying COBOL like the?
Coble
It's
milk.
a Coble
yeah.
milk. That's what we used to drink in the schools.
Yeah.
I thought it was pet.
No, well,
No.
Pet was, but then it became Coble milk because they got the contract. But Kathy and I remember drinking Coble milk, the blue and the red,
Yeah,
and then
but
the
there's-
chocolate milk.
The thing is, they had this huge cow
Yep.
like downtown. I mean, and here again, kind of out of place, but there the cow was.
I don't know. I just think there's more things to worry about in Seneca
Yeah.
going on than a business wanting to put a fork in front of their business establishment. I mean, there's tons of other issues,
I mean,
and
if
here
it was
we are.
neon, if it was
It's just
vulgar,
it's not. It's a
if
fork.
it's a fork.
It's a fork representing part of their logo.
It's not like they're
What
trying
about
to
the
put a
spoon? They gonna
phallus
put a
out there
spoon
or
up?
something, right?
Yeah.
Do what?
It's not like they're trying to put a phallus out in front of it.
Well, that's true.
Exactly.
No, they're not. I mean, seriously, they're not. But it's just these are things though that are just absolutely weird. And I got to tell you something about what we've done here at our HOA. And again, you know how much I love HOAs.
Yeah.
I hate our HOA. I think they're
my HOA all the time.
I think our HOA is the most disingenuous bunch of assholes I've ever seen. So there's a problem here in the neighborhood with soliciting. So when y'all pulled in, did y'all notice anything different? Did you see anything that would say that this is a no soliciting neighborhood?
Well, I still saw those guys out there selling encyclopedias.
Well, there you go. So the neighborhood decides to put up 2 signs on each end that says no soliciting under the Madison Point sign, and guess what? You can't even see them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you pull in, you can't even see them.
So how are you going to get good deals on magazine subscriptions?
How?
Yeah.
I just get online and look at old Playboy magazines from the 70s, and let me tell you, there's some strange things happening in the 70s versus today.
So, I mean, doesn't everybody have a Vivint alarm system?
A what?
Vivint. That's the guys that go door to door selling alarm systems.
No.
Oh, they'll be here next. They use.
They won't get on my lawn because I'm the old man that says, "Get off my lawn."
I mean,
are they going to not get on it because it's that, or because it's too high?
Well, I haven't measured it lately. I'm wanting it to get it back to about 12 feet. I want it to be 12 feet. I want them to bring a hay baler in here and bale weeds.
I want it to be like a corn maze.
Look, I pay $50
6 inches.
for HOA dues and get absolutely nothing. Now this neighborhood is not Kiwi Keep.
No, wait a minute.
What do you-
Well,
what do
no.
you-
You got 2
$50
signs.
$50 a year
A year. That's
for nothing.
So what do
No.
you expect to get?
I expect to get nothing.
You just said you got 2 signs.
Yeah,
All right.
that are rotten, by the way.
Well, here's the thing.
That's why you do it
there's
every
some
year.
benefit to having an HOA.
Not in this neighborhood. There is no benefit.
But you know, it's nice to have an HOA so that you don't get a fork next door.
We have an HOA.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, I have been instructed. That's the one that I talked to a couple weeks ago, according to my wife.
What's that?
Alarm systems and solar panels. Yeah, they've come in here try to sell alarm system and solar panels. You're right. I forgot.
So my ex-girlfriend, she used to befriend all
Yeah.
of the little Mormon boys that come by the house.
What?
Yeah.
I don't like where this is heading.
Every one of those
only Rannie.
every one of those door-to-door salesmen
Yeah.
are lost boys that have been kicked out of the Mormon church, and they stay in a hotel together. There's probably 17 of them sleeping on. But here's the thing. I mean, listen, I got this. We befriended this one, and his name is Rook Laird. He was an awesome kid, and he'd tell me, he said, "Yeah, if my sales are high enough, I get to sleep in the bed. If whoever gets the highest sales get the bed, and everybody else has to sleep on the floor." Well, I was like, "Well, I'll help you out. You seem a pretty cool kid." I went knocking on doors with him because this dude's working on my master's. So for a couple hours a day, it was fun. One day I called him up and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm selling over here on this street." I said, "Well, hey, I'll be in a minute to pick you up." And he said, "What?" I said, "Yeah." So anyways, went over and grabbed him, threw him in the truck. We went to this other house. I'd bought a refrigerator off of the Next Door app. And I had that guy, and me and him together, his refrigerator so big, and he was so tiny. We were having trouble. I said, "You know any more?" I said, "You know any more, fellas?" And he got on his phone, and next thing I know, this swarm of bicycles with kids with white shirts and black ties, and they all showed up. We would load that thing up there. So,
Well,
but now Rook is an airline pilot, and he flies from Singapore to some of the islands out there. He's doing really well for himself. So,
Well, there you go. So there's my take. And by the way, I have an HOA meeting Tuesday. It's not going to be pretty.
We have one in 2 weeks. We're voting. We got
I
something
thought
very
that was
important.
county council.
Well, I've got that and the county council meeting.
We're restricting. Well, I might as well tell you guys. I was the one that brought it up.
Yeah.
There no evildoer OCCs are allowed to live in my neighborhood. I put that up. I don't want them in my neighborhood.
Well, you're the one that's got "I love the OCC" on your dock, for
yeah,
God's
but that
sake.
was after I put my barbed wire around it.
Oh. And then tried to kill me.
No.
Yeah, Chris literally tried to kill me.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I
What
was
did he do to
swimming.
you?
I was swimming up at the Global Elitist headquarters, and all of a sudden, I was swimming around the boat motor of his pontoon, and I touched the propeller, and I almost crapped on myself because it shocked me, and he was trying to kill me. Chris was trying to kill me
Is
so
it
he
electrified?
could,
You know what?
so he could take over the show. And y'all would have to answer to Chris instead of me. Who would you rather answer
You
to?
know what he was doing?
Me
He
or
went
Chris?
He went
Oh
like
my
this.
gosh.
Ow! And you know that Saturday night skit where the guy was put, well, it hurts when I put my hand with this bash on the mixer and it cuts it. That's like him. Ow! Oh, this thing is bad. Ow! He did it like 6 times. I'm like, well, quit putting your hand over it. He goes, it's on the propeller. No, I can't pull it off.
Yeah, I was hoping it would happen that way. Then I could, sue you and I could retire. And then you could have the radio show.
You better call double out then. Don't call me.
I'm George Sink. Hey, if I deal with anything attorneys, it's George Sink. Because I can remember all 9s.
I love those commercials. I
love the Joel Hawk, Joel Beaver. Him flying around in a spaceship. Now, by God, no matter what, we're going to come to you.
That's right. I think how fast he gets there.
All right, welcome in. It is 15 minutes after 7 o'clock. It's a Sunday evening. And first of all, before we go anywhere, Rannie, Larry's watching. Larry Bond.
All right.
That's your father, isn't it?
That is, yeah.
Okay. Hello there, Mr. Bond. Mr. Larry Bond. Some interesting news came up in the newspaper Saturday, yesterday's edition. And I kind of had let y'all know about what was going on, that there was an issue with this. But in August of 2021, it was a deadly shooting in the Utica community. Now, all of a sudden, there are some other issues. They can't find a video, but yet now they've produced a witness.
Oh.
This one screams. The defense of this case, of course.
Can they not fire somebody over
this screams.
Demote them or something?
I mean, I'm telling you, this one here really screams. Again, there was a situation where the gentleman allegedly had committed a murder, but they couldn't find the copy of the videotape. The videotape had gone missing from evidence, apparently. And now all of a sudden...
Is that the same evidence locker with them pills in it?
God heaven knows. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But it's very strange that all of a sudden, after 2.5 to 3 years, all of a sudden, they've provided a mysterious witness that witnessed it all. After, I'm telling you, I am really concerned about our law enforcement. I really am. And particularly now with one of the hottest news stories in Oconee County about, and we kind of broke this about 2 or 3 months ago, that now we've got the former captain of the sheriff's office, Jeff Underwood, was arrested with 2 offenses that led to his firing, of course, was misconduct in office. And what is it, larceny they charged him with? Petty larceny? Under $2,000. So they charged him the value of the drugs, and then they charged him with misconduct in office.
But that doesn't seem right.
I just, there's something weird going on.
What's he know on who?
Exactly. I mean, y'all's comments on this.
Well, I'm not a lawyer, but when I didn't read that part. I thought those were felonies.
The misconduct in office charge carries 1 year. But petty larceny, I think petty larceny is a misdemeanor. I don't think it's a felony.
Well, the thing about it is, if he stole 1, he's probably stole 2. They just caught him with this one.
If convicted of misconduct, he can be sentenced to up to a year in jail, fined up to $1,000, and the punishment for petty larceny is can be convicted up to $1,000 fine and a jail sentence no longer than 30 days.
But here's the thing, and not a lawyer here, but if you or I took prescription medication, don't know what the prescription medication was, but would you not be charged with a drug charge?
Well, the warrants released to the media, of course, Friday allege Underwood stole pills and medication that weren't his and were valued at less than $2,000. But now this is where I have this is where I have a problem. How are they going to charge something of a value when it was a take-back day? In other words, you were giving the people were bringing their pills to the sheriff's office for a take-back day. It doesn't have a value. Exactly, Cathy.
That's a way around charging for the drug itself.
The problem with that, though, is depending on what insurance company the person had that got it, determines the price of the medication anyway.
But you're giving it back to get rid of it.
Right. Oh, I'm with you.
I think if you look at that, I don't know the guy, and I'm just commenting superficially like whoever it is. If there was an issue there, like somebody's addicted or whatever. Well, that's totally different.
Well, this is where.
But if you've got somebody literally taking drugs, and the next question is, are they selling it? This is a whole totally different.
This
what
doesn't
make
makes
any
me
sense
think.
at all.
This is what it makes me think. It makes me think that it's not a controlled substance, and it makes me think that it's a load of bull. That's where I'm thinking.
You mean it's not?
well,
what do you mean, like aspirin?
So I've got a
No,
friend-
not like aspirin, like maybe a muscle relaxer that's not a controlled substance, which means that it really doesn't have any value, which means that it's just like some hoo-ha.
Well, I've got a
Because you can something like Flexeril, which is not a controlled substance, which be the same thing.
Then why not?
Kathy,
legally,
It
that's
actually is now. All your muscle relaxers, including Soma, Flexeril, Tazodone,
Well,
they're now
Soma has been controlled for a long time.
but they are considering Flexeril a controlled substance now.
But here's the thing. I got a friend of mine. I've known her for a lot of time, and she worked at a pharmacy.
yeah.
And in the heat of the moment, she was just doing her thing, and the camera saw her. There was like a jelly bean pile that they had candy in. Well, she just reached down, and there was a pill, and she put that thing in her mouth and went on about it. Well, the security cameras called her, and they let it go, and then all of a sudden they came and she reported herself and to her boss and said, "Hey, I accidentally ate that pill instead of that jelly bean." Well, they went back, and every drug that wasn't in the inventory that they were missing, they charged her with taking them. That was a big deal because they went back months.
Yeah, that
and
seems
anything
weird.
that fell on the floor and got swept in the trash can or whatever didn't get accounted for, she got charged with it. Now, I don't know why the sheriff's office evidence room doesn't have that kind of control on evidence that they have at the pharmacy
Right.
at Walmart.
But
Well,
you know
let's-
what? Wasn't this person? I'm not singling anybody out. I want to be very, very careful with that because we don't know what people are going through. But wasn't he in the hospital? Didn't it?
No, it wasn't hospital.
Rehab.
Rehab.
Okay, so so then the question is, if this guy's got problems, then and he's addressing it, then why are they even charging him?
That's why?
That doesn't make sense. If you're going to charge him, you're going to charge him. It's just weird. It makes sense. It would be if you're going to charge the guy, you would charge him with heavy felonies if he did something wrong.
I
Yeah.
could understand the misconduct in office.
Yeah.
I can understand that. But what I have a more problem with is that you're charging him with petty larceny on a drug that was given to take back that the
For
sheriff's
trash.
for trash.
Yeah.
That's my whole issue is I don't necessarily believe petty larceny is at play here. I believe he may have had a problem that he did seek treatment for, but the petty larceny, that right there is just a far stretch. I mean, again, if it was a pharmacy like Rannie was just talking about a few moments ago that he stole the pills, I believe it would be a harder charge than petty larceny.
Exactly.
I mean, we've seen people that have stolen pills get petty larceny. That's my issue here. What?
Yeah, I don't understand
I don't
the charge.
understand. I don't understand the charge.
And I don't
Look,
understand.
I have been around sensitive information, sensitive items, sensitive controlled things for most of my life. And the one thing that we always have is two-person integrity. Two people with that stuff anytime anybody's with it. Why would the sheriff allow anyone to be with anything by themselves? That right there is just misconduct on the sheriff's part.
Well, let's go back a few
listen,
hun-
if you look at pharmacy and controlled substances, there's count, double count. That anytime you're handling controlled substances, the back check, the backlog, the counting, there's cameras. I mean, you have to double count and log that stuff. It seems like on a take back there would be just as much, and there would be more people and someone maybe from the DEA or somebody there to log that stuff and keep
We've actually
count of
had
it.
doctors charged in Oconee County
Yeah.
for pre-writing prescriptions for narcotics.
Yeah.
That just happened about 2 or 3 years ago. One doctor that had been practicing for 40-something years was arrested.
Yeah.
That's happened before. But like I said, there's more to this. And again, we're talking about a sheriff's department that has had a history, not saying under the current administration, but under a previous administration, that $500,000 went missing.
Well-
And again, we
well,
never found out where the $500,000 went.
The other thing I wanted to say about the just and this is what I said in the journal. My comment in the journal was they need to do something at their department to address the mental health of their officers and their staff, because these people and I don't know personally what the officer's going through or anything like that. I don't pretend to know. But these guys go out on these calls and stuff, and they're called, and the first responders as well, and firefighters, to the most horrific situations. And they expect them to do this day in and day out like machines. You know, everybody's screeching for them to get pay raises and stuff, but I don't hear them implementing anything for their mental health. Okay? They're going to wrecks. They're going to murders. Literal murders. We don't have a ton of them, but we do have them. They're going to suicides. They're going to domestic violence situations. They're going to the most horrific, sometimes hostage situations. They are seeing the worst of the worst. What are they doing to help these people? Because that stuff sticks with you and stays with you. I mean, it's not surprising that somebody might have a drug problem or develop a drinking problem or depression or something like that. I mean, come on, guys.
I agree.
I just don't get it.
Let me, Jeff,
And I'm not excusing, a crime or bad behavior or misconduct or anything like that. But what are they doing to stop or counteract this on the forefront? Because it doesn't sound like they're doing anything, and we need to.
So, Jeff, I look at this as two ways. If you got a person, and to Cathy's point, and I agree with this, if you got a person that got hooked on drugs because they had some issues, we need to deal with that with compassion. People need to get well, and if they just had a problem or whatever, and it wasn't malicious or they weren't selling or whatever, we need to make them well, and then after that, there can be a decision made. Does this guy keep working for us, coming back, or they go someplace?
But you can't.
Well,
he
wait,
can't
let me
because
finish.
he's already done this, and there is a misconduct charge. There's misconduct in
I
office.
didn't finish. So, but if somebody was doing this and taking drugs and turning around and selling them and making money, then that's different. That's when you get into the other stuff. When they make charges like this, it doesn't even make any logical sense.
It doesn't.
I mean, I don't even know what the hell that even means. That's nothing. That's like nothing.
Well, I know we need to go to break, but I want to say this before we go. Any time something like this happens, the leader of the organization is at fault. This is the sheriff's fault. He didn't have a proper plan in place for a drug take back. I'd hate to see what happens with a gun take back.
Yeah.
I mean, how many guns are going to walk off?
Yeah.
That's one of the
But
things
you
that always
can't
worry me
have-
about these gun take backs is these guns, they walk off, they're making money off of them somehow.
But the thing is, you cannot have that authority without taking some responsibility.
it starts at the top.
Whether you're the sheriff or you're on the county council, and I think that's what we want to talk about when we come back next. If you're in charge, you can't make dumbass decisions and then expect to not have the responsibility for the fallout. Mm-hmm. And we need to hold these leaders accountable for what they've done. What happened to Mr. Underwood is a direct reflection of the policies of the sheriff. Period.
And Randy, let me just say one last thing. I agree with you 100%. And I'm gonna say this. Nobody's really talked about this. Really quick. I saw that picture of Crenshaw standing next to Trump with a thumbs up.
Who cares?
No, this is the issue. He should be totally objective. He is the lead officer for law and order in our county. This guy's been indicted. He's been charged. When I see that makes me very uncomfortable. Not from a political aspect, from the aspect like this guy. What other stuff is he going to look away from if he's going to look like he's endorsing that type of behavior?
Well, Roger says he needs Durham's lawyer. His crime is nonviolent, maybe qualifies for intervention, but he'd need a treatment program. Well, he has already apparently taken the treatment program. Ernest Bunbury checks in, says not to mention they aren't giving enough training to deal with that. They spend almost no time preparing officers for the job. I do agree in some aspects because we're hiring them, we send them to the Criminal Justice Academy, and then we're throwing them on the streets. I do. Ernest is right on that. And does anyone know off the top of their head how much training officers are required to have before setting foot on the job?
I think it's 12 weeks now.
Yeah, they have to go to the Criminal Justice Academy for 12 weeks, and then they come back, and I think they do a ride-along with the partner, and then they're turned loose in their own vehicle. Wow. So, yeah. But I do know they have to continue some ongoing training in order
Captain
to keep
Underwood has a degree, though.
He's got a criminal
He's an educated man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it just, to me, I feel like he got a little bit on the wrong side, unfortunately.
He's also been with the department since 2002.
Yep.
So
that's correct.
That's a long time, and that's, like I said, that's a long history. And that's a lot of stuff to see.
Well, Morgan says, I don't know, but I think cosmetology school takes 2 years.
It does.
It does.
Right. So
I mean, seriously, she's right. All right, when we come back, we still have the biggest, most indigenous article that I've ever seen that was paid for by a group.
Now, here's the thing. This is not a news article.
No, it's a paid news article.
No, it's not even a news article. It's propaganda.
Oh, propaganda.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Spank my hand. I am so sorry I mentioned that.
You cannot call something that's paid for to be news.
Paid for by.
Double on, I guess.
Yeah. Well, get ready. That's coming up, and more of your concerns, quality conversations that we have here, and people hate us, and I hate people who hate us. But there's one thing that I will say. No one, and I mean no one, is going to tell me who I can be friends with and I can't be friends with. There's more coming up here on Let's Talk Oconee. Sponsor of Sunny 107.9 WFBS and Lake Kiwi Radio Online, it's Twice a Town Tap Room. Cold beer, a family atmosphere located in downtown Salem. They're glad to be investing in the town of Salem, and they strive to be a premier hangout in the community and county. Whether you live in town, out of town, on the lakes, including Kiwi, Jocassee, or Hartwell, on one of our beautiful rivers, or just passing through, you're always welcome at Twice a Town Tap Room. Don't forget, live music, great entertainment, and fun can be had at Twice a Town Tap Room, located in downtown Salem. Again, for more information, visit twiceatowntaproom.com. That's twiceatowntaproom.com. There you'll find all of the information you need to know about Twice a Town Tap Room, and make sure you stop in and say hello. Twice a Town Tap Room is a proud sponsor of Sunny 107.9 WFBS and Lake Kiwi Radio Online.com. Their website, once again, twiceatowntaproom.com. Here's what's coming up next at the Eagle Nest Arts Center. They'll be presenting a talent showcase August the 12th beginning at 7 p.m. This will be featuring local and regional acts. The doors will open at 6 p.m. Tickets will only be $5. It includes music, comedy, dance, and so much more. You can sign up to perform by July 30th. Send an email to eaglenestartscenter@gmail.com, or you can call 864-280-1258. Tickets are available at the Salem Town Hall or by visiting ticketleap.com or call 864-280-1258. Everybody's got talent. Sign up today and join the fun. That'll be coming up August the 12th at 7 p.m. at the Eagle Nest Art Center. This message sponsored by the Town of Salem and Sunny 107.9 and Lake Kiwi Radio Online.com. Oh my God. Chris, before you even begin to start, we have been asked, can we provide the minutes from the lake meeting at the Global Elitist Headquarters, GEH?
Oh, Lord.
That came from your lovely daughter, Abby. I can provide it in one sentence. You had to be there. You better be there next time we come up. And we want the red carpet treatment next time, please.
What do you mean? You already get it.
No, we don't get the red carpet. Randy, did you feel like you got the red carpet treatment?
Gladys doesn't even know I gave you. Well, she will now. I gave you her yoo-hoos.
Her what?
Her yoo-hoos. Those drinks, those yoo-hoos.
But I don't drink yoo-hoos.
Hey, why don't you take that yerba and drink that right now?
No, we're leaving that in here. That's for special occasions. We're going to open that on the 1 year anniversary.
Hey, we need to smoke these evil doers.
Oh, we're going to smoke some doers.
So, I guess I got this propaganda advertisement in my hand here.
Yeah. It's all bullshit.
Paid for by Oconee County conservatives. Well, I'm a conservative and I'm in Oconee County and I wouldn't have paid for this trash. Anyways, so OCC LLC paid for this. That's not the business paid for this.
Hold on, I'm gonna just give me just a second. I'm gonna bring that up on screen. Go ahead, Randy.
So, anyways, Seneca on July 22nd at 6:30 p.m. The OCC LLC, the largest conservative movement in Oconee County, is going to have another meeting at Blue Marble Restaurant in Seneca. The keynote speaker will be Yvonne Julian, chairwoman of the Greenville County Republican Party. Now, this is people that won't even talk to the chairman of the Oconee County Party. The Greenville County Republican Party is the largest organized county party in the state of South Carolina. And boy, do they have problems. The extraordinary thing about this lady and her message is she was originally a Democrat when she lived in California. She is now, but then she moved to Chicago and she was still a Democrat there. But now since she's moved here to South Carolina, it says that she is a bold constitutional conservative. She is a slave-descended black who was born into a political Democrat family and began the transition to political activism, conservative Republican, while living in California. She was educated in chemistry and business operations and has an impressive resume. You can read her resume at wherever. All right. While we want to hear Yvonne's message as conservatives, we are also wanting to reach out to other minority conservatives in our communities to invite them to our venue. Now, I'm pretty sure that the last time a minority tried to do something in the Republican Party, it made the front page of the paper. Let's see here. We understand.
Well, you're only on the second column,
right? Yeah, we understand the pure pressures and stranglehold that the Democrat Party exerts on the minority community, and we want to reach out to the minority conservatives and Trump supporters who may be in the closet. Hey, we're in the closet.
We're in a closet.
Right.
All right, and let them know that you have a politically safe place to go if you wish. Okay, safe place. All right. Then it says the time to make a stand against the oppression of Democrats and their uniparty Republican enablers is now. As you probably realize, conservatives reaching out to the minority community for conservative activities of any kind can be a darned if you do, darned if you don't enterprise, since conservatives are often disingenuously labeled as racist, bigots, homophobes, Nazis, etc. by Democrats and uniparty Republicans. The Democrats don't want minority conservatives participating in conservative politics because it destroys their fake narrative of conservatives as stated above. Do y'all really want to read more?
No, I don't want you to
No.
read. I want to, Jeff. Can I talk, Jeff?
Yeah, go ahead. I've got to deal with a crisis.
Okay.
right
So
now.
let me take over. The key is this: you're zeroing on that ad, and I know these guys are watching, and I want to give them a little lesson. So basically, this crap that they paid for says conservatives are often disingenuously labeled as racist, bigots, homophobes, Nazis, etc. by the Democrats and uniparty Republicans. Okay, guys.
You got to move.
Okay, now we're going to talk. Now we're going to talk facts. Okay, and the facts are David Nix, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to go through. I'm going to give you 5 bullets. He used an anti-Semitic slur against me in the Journal, and Perry Smith has mocked me continuously with that same slur for months. Okay? So what do you call that? That's bigotry. Color doesn't matter when it comes to hate. Nobody gives a shit. Hate's hate, okay? So I want to give you some information about the 2 black people they hold up as OCC role models to prove they aren't racist, okay? This is important. Larry Elder, I'm giving you quotes. Single mothers on welfare are like stray cats. Think of that, folks. That's what he said. Larry Elder. Working mothers aren't dedicated and available for an all-hands-on-deck commitment to work. Ladies, think of that. So you're not committed to work because you're a mother. Violence. Okay, now this is a juicy one.
Before you go too far
No,
off.
I'm almost done. I've only got 3 to go.
Right,
Violence against women is exaggerated for the political gain of feminists. These are their role models. Okay, guys, I'm almost done. Now let's talk about Candace Owens, who's another one of their role models. She was on a Skims campaign. She was commenting on a Skims campaign with a model in a wheelchair. I don't understand how far we're going to take this as inclusivity thing. A model in a wheelchair seems ridiculous. Whose idea was it? Was it your idea? Okay, you're fired. Candace Owens, their role model. Australia COVID restrictions. America should send troops and invade and liberate them from tyrannical COVID-19 restrictions. It is like the early stages of a dictatorship under Hitler or Stalin. These are OCC role models. Now here's the last one. Matthew Durham, using his name as a councilman.
This was on wait. This was on his county councilman's social media page.
Yes. And he's the OCC president. Ready? Would you rather drive Ford's new Pride truck or walk everywhere for a month? Okay, folks, we have gay people in this community. Get over it.
And,
You're no better
in his district.
You're no better than they are.
Well, but
they pay taxes. This is bigotry. This is homophobia. This is what they are. There you go.
All right. Well, what's funny about it is there's Republicans that are in the county that this group will absolutely not want anything to do with. Will go as far as stopping their car in front of them in the highway and yelling profanities at them.
When did that happen?
Oh, that was the other day when that light fell off. It was me.
Perry Smith?
Yeah. Remember when the light fell off?
Oh, when he tried to challenge you?
Right.
And tried to intimidate you into fighting?
Right. But now this
Speaking
guy
of fighting,
that guy needs to be in jail.
So
meth heads need to be in jail too.
Why?
I've had a meth head behind the house.
So,
oh Lord.
So you get these guys, and they want to say that they're creating a safe place for minority conservatives.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
That's complete bullshit. This lady is from Greenville. I got to experience her at the state convention. And she's no different than they are. I mean, they're peas in a pod. I mean, you're right. You can't, color.
Are you sure? Are you sure she even knows what she's walking into?
Well, she's being played by Jeff Davis and the rest of these guys. She's a puppet for them, and she's their token puppet.
Hate.
I don't know where you got to. I had to take care of another meth head in the backyard. I'm telling you, it's getting worse. I mean, this is the same gentleman that was charged 2 weeks ago for creating a disturbance, walking on private property, and he did it again. So anyway.
Was he selling something?
Well, he's high. I mean, he's high. Look, no, he's high. And he's just out of his mind. And this is the second time that's happened in less than 2 weeks. I'm tired of it. I work hard for what I have. And if somebody has a problem, I want them to get help. But when they continually do stuff like this is where they deserve to be, in jail. I'm sick of it.
Jail doesn't get people sober.
Jail don't do anything. But again, what are we going to do? We don't have nothing. They don't want the treatment.
We don't have any rehab.
We don't have any rehab.
Well, I mean, if they go, the sheriff's office is just going to do drugs with them, apparently.
Anyway, let me see. We got a bunch of comments here.
So,
I need to get to. We got a bunch of comments
read them first, and then.
Okay. Roger says, old white disabled, is that minority enough to go? He brings up a good point. Let's see who else.
Probably not.
Mr. Richard says King Matthew should well be versed in violence against women.
He's right.
He's right. Ernest says they aren't committed to their children, though. You're pointing out the shortcomings of men and rebranding them as fault of a woman. As a father of a beautiful, intelligent woman, I can confidently say that she and others like her are intimidating. Let's see. Where else? They're educated and rising up in the professional world, and that upsets some losers. Larry says, quote, Mr. Smith just removed my comment about Charles Steinmetz. Please look him up. He, Nick's, Ruin, and all Duke employees have jobs thanks to Steinmetz.
I don't work. I'm retired.
And Elon would not be a billionaire. This is important history. He founded the first, he founded the first electric car company.
How the hell did I get mixed up with that?
I don't know. Ruin point. I didn't know you worked for Duke Power.
But listen.
Go ahead.
In the last paragraph of this propaganda thing, he said, there will be many Democrats and their uniparty Republicans who will label this outreach by the OCC LLC as disingenuous or tokenly.
It is.
But it is our honest and sincere effort
No, it's not.
to ensure that all people in this county, regardless of their race or ethnicity, have equal opportunity to participate in this county's conservative Republican politics. Well, I got to tell you, I don't think that Carrie Unsworth would think that they feel that way. I don't think Roger feels that way. I don't think that several of the people that have taken themselves off of Facebook because of these assholes feel that same way. So now why is the change? What's the change? Because
Do you think the lady that had the town hall meeting over at New Galilee would feel that way?
Right.
That's a good point, Kathy.
I just wonder if any of the folks over there that were at that town hall meeting at New Galilee would feel that way when one certain person showed their rear end about it being there. I really wonder that.
Well,
Chris makes his money off pontoon tours. He has nothing to do with Steinbeck.
so, but going further, right? We've got Tuesday a county council meeting. Then we have the OCC meeting coming up. We also have a Republican meeting coming up next Thursday.
This coming Thursday.
So they run this article in the paper talking about how great thou art, which they ain't.
And then they're doing the three resolutions,
then there's 3 resolutions that the New Hope, Mountain Rest, South Union folks have brought to the table. And, the first one is about membership. Well, I mean, I think that we should be encouraging new members of our party all the time. The Democrats should be too. I really wish that the independents would actually encourage more people to be independent. Get away from all these parties.
I'm a registered Republican.
But
Jump ship, y'all.
the second
He ain't lying. I looked it up.
The second resolution was to recognize the OCC for the budget and what the members of the cult have done with our budget.
I recognize how crappy it is.
And the third
That's my
one,
recognition.
right? And then the third one was, what was it about anyway? I don't remember. Oh, they want to censure the state GOP caucus for not allowing those
The Freedom
Caucus
The Party
guys to
of
run
Freedom
wild.
wants to censure
Right.
people.
Isn't that weird?
It is.
I guess I have a problem with resolution number 2. We are going to reward a county council that decided to cut the budget $6 million, but yet you're going to take out conservative bonds. Now, let me repeat that. Conservative bonds.
Equals debt. Hey, what?
Am I right? But isn't part of what they preach limited government, low taxes, right?
Yeah.
Well,
But
it's
yet we're going
all
to
a
do
contradiction in
conservative
terms.
bonds.
What precinct is that?
What, conservative bonds?
No, what you're talking about. What precinct was that
New
from?
Hope.
New Hope?
Yeah.
Well, that's where I go to. I'm a registered Republican there. I think that's a bullshit statement. Why in the hell are you cutting a budget and then you're incurring debt of $25 million? And guess what, guys? The dude that was a part of the sewer authority said that at a minimum it's $50 million. which means it's probably over 100.
I
Well,
just
well, wait a minute. You said you live in New Hope, and you're a registered Republican.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you're a Republican?
I was. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Well,
checked.
well,
Why?
So what did they reach out to you? And
He didn't ask me at all. I said that's bullshit.
Right.
Sorry.
well,
You know, Republicans, we
I mean,
get wild.
as a member of
but-
Seneca 1, I'm well versed and understand.
Right, but you're a delegate, right?
I'm a secretary of Precinct 1, Seneca
Okay.
1.
Well, but here's the thing. About you talk about that second resolution is there's Republicans all over the county. There's 80,000 people in the
Absolutely.
county.
I'm part of
right?
the common man.
But there's only 15 or 20 people in the New Hope precinct that are coming up with this. They're not really representative of the Republicans
not at all.
in their area. Like that bunch of Mountain Rest who run everybody off except for their clan, and now they come up with these resolutions and they want to expand their clan, but they're not going to let anybody else go up there and be a part of that.
My entire neighborhood looked at that crap and they were pissed. They were like, what the hell are they talking about? We don't support those crazy freaks.
And if you take a look at the precincts that's pushing this, they're all led by OCC members.
Oh, yeah.
So when you get the comments, well, the OCC is nothing, well, that's not true. The OCC holds a lot of power right now, particularly with 3 council seats. You've got the planning commission stacked against
Well, it's
them.
because everybody's asleep.
And again, and the problem is it's going to take people to wake up and say, wait a minute, this is not how we want our county to go.
People are tired,
but
though.
well,
I mean, that's the whole thing. And that I
well,
had
Kathy,
this
they've been
discussion-
tired. They've been tired for 20 years.
I had this discussion with people work full-time jobs, they're raising families, and they don't want to put themselves out there.
But yet they want to
for-
sit by and watch everything happen.
for people to scream and yell at them. That's why they're not going to get out there. That's
Okay.
what's so concerning. Like especially with like the situation in Walhalla, they're going to be hard pressed to find anybody to put themselves out there to run for these positions because they see these people acting crazy.
Well, it's not like they're advertising positions in Walhalla. They
I mean,
just go ahead and hire somebody.
that doesn't
and
make-
Ernest has got a great comment. Tired is not an excuse.
It's not.
This is how we lose.
Exactly.
It is. It is
And if
how
you
we
don't
lose.
like it, you vote
and it's
against
how
them.
they win, and that's what they bank on.
They
they're
win by intimidation.
insufferable. You
Well,
know,
if
they-
Walhalla falls to an OCC candidate, then it's just a matter of time before Seneca and Westminster will see the same fate.
Absolutely.
And heaven forbid that it comes to Seneca, because if it comes to Seneca, you can see everything you can start seeing everything back up. It'll go right off.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a bunch of group that was so disingenuous in my entire life.
At the
That
same,
hate. I wouldn't be here doing a show if they would just do what they want to do and be done with it. And you don't have to. If you disagree with somebody, you don't have to hate. You can say, hey, look, I disagree and move on.
so you wouldn't have the show if they weren't around. So
Probably not. I mean, seriously, Chris. I mean, if they had not been around to attack people such as me and everyone else, would there had really been a need for wait a minute? Would there really have been a need for this show? And the answer would be no.
Well, then, like poor seniors like me. So I guess I have to thank them for my Hollywood career.
No, you're absolutely right,
Right.
Chris.
You're right.
We have to give thanks where thanks is
That's
due.
right.
If David,
Thank
if
you, David and
Nix-
Matthew and Perry.
Listen, if David Nix had not have reached out to me and said, we're watching you and what you're doing, and you liked 19 of Chris Ruin's posts on the journal,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know
What's the
who
matter,
you were.
buddy?
yeah, isn't that creepy?
it goes back-
Like when he tells you that
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
watching.
But
You
it
know
goes
why?
back. It goes back to what I just said.
Jeff's
No
right.
one is going to tell me who I can be friends with and who I can't be friends with.
That's right.
I'm
Amen.
sorry. It's not going to happen.
And you're not going to intimidate me
look.
like you did these other people.
None of this.
But they have. But they have.
You're
That's the
right.
whole thing. They've pushed everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
They've pushed good people out of their positions, and that's what they're working on.
Well, look what happened to you.
Systematically removing everybody from council seats, from board seats, and it's working. It's working.
You
I
know
mean,
what? Think about this.
Yay.
All he did was, I thought the Kane and the Elliott and Davis thing was bad, I didn't even know him. And I was reading this shit, and I thought, who is this guy? Why are they... It was horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, and they think that's good. I'm going to tell them, buddy, there were a
it's
lot
great.
more of us around than you think.
According to them, this is the greatest thing. Mm-hmm. I will be here doing what I can to help my county when they blow the ship completely sky high.
That's right.
And I'm going to sit back and I'm going to tell y'all, everybody, I told you so.
What is bothersome, though, is that you have an elected official posting things like that truck thing, knowing that he is, and it's from his official page, and he's posting things like that, knowing that he has constituents.
Oh, no, he does not have any constituents that are gay, bi, lesbian, or anything else. He absolutely refuses to do anything for them.
Who's that? Who are you talking about?
Bacon.
Oh.
He absolutely does.
But doesn't he? What was the comment he made?
Yeah, he'd rather walk them and then drive.
No. This is mine. I get to say it. Would you rather drive Ford's new Pride truck or walk everywhere for a month?
But he said that.
He did. He posted
on
it.
his official page, and then
how
it was
nasty
like
that
a
is.
week long. When another elected official called him out on it, it was a week long hoopla and articles
they
in the
all
paper,
attacked.
and
then
they
write
all
that
attacked
shit in the
her
paper. That's right.
and threatened her.
Exactly.
Now, why you can't, why nobody's standing up and saying anything?
I don't know. The day
I don't
the
know.
feds get here, I'm gonna be. You know what? They're gonna hurt somebody.
And what it does too is it intimidates the gay community.
It does. It scares me. You see how it gets.
I mean, seriously, how would they ever come to a council meeting? How would they ever be able to come to anything at the county? Why would they ever come? Because they see that post. I mean, what does that say? What does that say about our county? Is that who we are or what we want to be? Absolutely not. I mean, 80,000 people, and that's what you want to put out there, and then you call yourself a Christian? You got one of those bracelets that says, "What would Jesus do?" That's not what Jesus would do, y'all.
No, Jesus wouldn't do that.
No.
I made the statement last week, again. It's not me. I'm not the judge here on earth. I mean, I can do all I can, but again.
Yeah, just boo, Yeah, and call yourself conservative, call yourself Christian, all this kind of stuff, and you're going to put that on your page? Your official page.
You know what?
You represent us. It's just
stand
gross.
up
It's just gross, man.
and tell them to shut the hell up.
But
that's what they need to do.
Let's be real. Let's be real for a minute. I'm not going to lie. I used to have all kind of thoughts like that. I used to be part of them.
You weren't an elected official.
Group of people.
Were you?
And you know what?
You didn't even play one on TV.
As you mature,
you learn, things change.
You have
you know better, you do
life
better.
Experiences.
It changes.
You got to think, man, why?
Yeah.
I love where I came from. I love my raising, all of that stuff. But when you get your eyes open by seeing the rest of the world, you can't be nasty to everybody you disagree with.
That's right.
I still disagree with thousands and thousands of things going on. Yeah. But it is not my place to burn the house down.
That's not.
You know what? We had a disagreement on Saturday. We were talking, we're in the water, and I was spoon feeding yoo-hoos to you guys. But you know what? We didn't even, there was no big deal. We talked about it, and I kind of put my flippers on and just flipped off. Remember that?
I don't drink yoo-hoos.
I love
if I'm going to drink chocolate milk, it's going to be from a regular cow, not chemical chocolate.
So,
hey, man.
But the thing about that though is these people that are making these statements have not ever really lived life. They don't know what's out there, what the rest of the world is.
Can I add something to what you're saying?
Sure.
Yeah.
These people have only been involved for 2 years.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I have been here telling the story in Oconee County 30-something years.
Mm-hmm.
I have been in broadcasting in my home county that I was born and raised in for 33 years. Do you not think in a little bit of time that I have acquired a lot of knowledge about different people, different walks of life is, for example, the thing about they all came from up north. You know what? I used to agree with that. I hated them. But you know what? But I'm being serious.
Yeah.
The more that I got to learn and the more that I got to understand, they're one of us. They're just like me. They're human beings. And this thing about the gays and lesbians and everything, again, not my lifestyle. But you know what? While they're on the earth, I'm going to do what my Bible tells me to do. My Bible tells me to love everyone. I don't agree with their lifestyle, but that's them. I'm not the judge and jury here.
Right, but for me, I don't care. Whatever they decide to do, I'm not going to judge it. That's up to them.
That's up to them.
And do I approve? I don't. I'm thinking, you know what? If that works for you, go for it. Just like any other religion.
But this is how.
But think about the four of us in here.
Right.
Think how we all, think how you've changed, I changed. We can sit here and we can disagree, and we still are friends. Well, these guys have a strategy of hate.
Let's throw another moron into the fire.
Okay.
There was a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago, there was a letter to the editor about how there was no Christian businesses in Oconee County.
Oh, God, what a dumbass.
Now, if you drive down the streets of Walhalla, you drive by the police station and the next little shop, he described as having a pentagram in the window.
Yeah, I saw that.
Whatever. That's freedom of
It's
religion,
catering
right?
to the lowest denominator.
But that's freedom of religion.
Yeah.
Freedom of religion
They
means
pay
you can do
taxes like
whatever.
everybody else.
But if you drive down just a little bit further on the left-hand side of the road, or the right-hand side of the road, you get to Mountain Mocha. Every Thursday in Mountain Mocha, they have a prayer meeting, a devotional. There's just people meet there, and they're reading the Bible, and they're doing that. How much more Christian of a business do you want?
This is, okay, again, this is a business that is helping the homeless, but yet over grilled cheese,
Oh, Lord.
there was, and we posted that, and it went downhill from there.
But then you move on, and you move into Bounty Land. There's where that Black Steakhouse used to be, Black Smokehouse, whatever. There's a Christian bookstore there now.
Yeah.
But then you move on down, and then you get into the Applewood Shopping Center, and then you've got that one business that says that they cater to women, the big religious one, and then their CEO's like, we're not going to give birth control to any of the women that work for us. You know what I'm talking about?
Hobby Lobby?
No, that one. The one that's in the International Art Theft
Yeah.
ring. But he wanted to praise them.
The ones that bought all those artifacts multiple times
Right.
that were illegal. Okay,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, so we want to talk about that, and then we don't want to talk about the 19,000 locations of Chick-fil-A in the upstate.
Yeah.
There's plenty of religious businesses in Oconee County.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem that I'm having with his letter to the editor is that freedom of religion means anybody can be able to do anything. And if you put a Star of David on your store,
Apparently that's not, yeah, I get it.
Well, then you're Jewish or something, and then all the Christians are not going to go there.
What does that sound like? Does that not sound like
But
Nazi
then-
World War II?
Yep.
But what if you put a cross above your door? All the atheists are going to be like, well, I don't want to go in there. But a lot of times, it's just best to let the color of money be green, and not worry about who you're doing business with, so that you get the product you want, and they get some support in what they're doing.
Well, and if you are a Christian, you don't want to alienate people because you never know what opportunities you are given by just being open, just having nothing to identify yourself,
Well,
and
that's-
having your doors open. And like I said this, and I'll say it over and over again until I die, because a very wise man once told me that I worked for, that if you have to advertise your business as Christian, it probably isn't.
Yeah, put your hands on your wallet.
Well, yeah,
I mean that it probably isn't.
One of the greatest preachers I knew growing up, I asked him, I said, how do you do it? He said, look, I have to preach a sermon every day, and on Sunday I got to use words. If you act like a Christian, people going to know. If you are, you don't have to tell people.
Well, that's going back to this meeting thing that they're having, and their recruitment or whatever. It goes back to that. If your organization is so terrific, do you really have to advertise? Do you have to get out there and beat the streets and beg people to come to you? Because if what you got going on is so great, they're gonna want to come to you.
Right.
They're not. You're not gonna have to be out there begging people to come to you. They're gonna see what you got going on is so wonderful that you're just
Right. But
you're not gonna need it.
Okay, so let me just say one thing, and I'm gonna give it my perspective. We talk about people being colorblind. You shouldn't see color. You treat everybody equal. Okay? I think everybody should be religion blind. If you practice a religion or don't practice a religion, the only thing that you should care about, anybody should care about, if you're not preaching hate, that's up to you. That's up to you.
Hey, and you know what? With all the turmoil,
everybody's equal.
With all the turmoil in the Christian faith around the world right now, whether it's the Methodists, the Southern Baptist Convention, the Presbyterians, the Holiness, whoever, they've all got so much controversy right now.
Exactly.
Recruitment isn't something they need to be doing until they
they're
get their house in order.
They're losing people.
Well, yeah, you would
Look
lose.
at the numbers.
Well, but if every time you go to church you feel unwelcome and everybody's nasty and biting at each other, who wants to go? I'm going to go to the creek bank with my fishing pole and I'll talk to the Lord there.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk to the Lord anywhere you're at any time.
Right.
The one most interesting thing about minorities who make the transition from Democrat to Republican is that it's more often than not a complete transition to bold, constitutional conservatives rather than the halfway to a country club. Moderate or uniparty Republicans.
Really?
I'm reading it. I'm reading it again.
You got to read it. Because I have something about Constitution on there.
I mean, so basically you have somebody local that made the jump from Democrat to Republican in Soraya Melendez, but it's not a complete. So what does it have to be in order to be a complete transformation? Do I have to bend down and kiss Matt Durham on his toes?
But here's the thing.
They don't believe in the Constitution.
They wrote it right here. They said we would call it tokenly. Right, they found one person. That's what it said. I don't know if it's a word or not, but they paid to put it in the paper. Tokenly, they will describe our efforts as disingenuous or tokenly. You're very right. Look at how David McMahon treated Jose in the paper.
I know. Seriously, let's take a look at it. But you're going to sit here.
Look what David Nix said.
Wait a minute. I forgot about
Look
that.
at the way he treated Soraya, and then they're going to welcome this lady
that doesn't even live here. It's great to go get one from far off,
but does not live here in Oconee County because they can't get one.
Well, wait a minute.
They're going to welcome this lady that they don't even know. But their own neighbor, they won't welcome with open arms, and they're actually nasty to. How much sense does that make? How much sense does that make? Someone who has lived here their entire lives, and they're going to be nasty to her and question her intentions and not get to know her, but they're going to bring somebody in from another county. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
But look how they treated Carrie Unsworth. She may have allegedly worked on a campaign for a Democrat in the past. Money is money. A job opportunity is a job opportunity. It doesn't matter. But they wanted to run her out of the party on a rail.
They're not even Republican. So wait a minute. I forgot I don't remember what McMahon said. I forgot all about that. Can you please remind me what he said?
He said no, he's not Hispanic, he's white.
He said that?
Yeah.
He said that?
In the paper.
Yeah. Cabrera?
Yeah, and then Cabrera went back and said, "No, I'm Hispanic. If you would have ever talked to me, you'd know that."
And didn't he say something about somehow? I'm thinking he said something about coming from another country.
I agree with Richard. What Richard just posted, a double standard for sure.
Well,
absolutely, Richard.
But it's not really even a double standard. This is going to happen one time, so they can say they did it, and they'll never do it again.
Actions speak louder than words.
Well, I think the thing about it is this lady. I was reading her bio or whatever. She seems very intelligent. She has an impressive resume, just like they said. You know, I didn't see any dirt anywhere. No negative stuff. She just happens to be Republican. I can respect that. You know, people have differing opinions, different beliefs. I think she's going to be in for a shocker when she comes over here.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that Rashad and that group is going to show up. And what's the group from the that does all the homeless help? What is it?
You talking about Moley?
Yeah, Moley.
Charles Moley?
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff.
Charles does a lot of stuff. He was just on the Mill Village last week, and they brought a whole trailer full of groceries over for people to pick up for the kids and stuff.
Right, but those guys have seen firsthand what this group is all about. They're not going to be advertising for them.
No.
I mean, I want to read something Roger just sent us. Like Jeff, like me, my adult life has been here. 8th grade, I moved here, God's country. I would like to have focused on my issues, but I refuse to let this hateful disrespect stand unchallenged. Thank God I'm not alone. Roger, you're not alone. You have never been alone. But there's been a lot of people that in your situation that we have fought for you and will still fight for you. We know what this group did. Hey, look, I know what this group is doing every day. I could sit here and continue to preach over and over again. But there comes a point that people's got to start standing up for themselves.
Absolutely.
They have to, because if you don't, it's kind of like a balancing. I still believe that we went off the cliff, and I don't believe there's no coming back. I don't. I believe the America that I grew up in, that I remember you were supposed to respect, and when it came to the president or the Constitution, whoever was in office, you have to respect. There is a respect factor there. Well, that's no longer. You know, there is no respect anymore. Who gives a damn? That's the mentality. And when 2024 rolls around, not only is the country on a tipping point, but I'm going to tell you something. Local is also on a tipping point too. I hope people will remember that next year is an election year in Oconee County. There's going to be 3 seats up for county council. Choose wisely, my friends, because the course of history will dictate where Oconee goes in the next election.
Well, you know, that's really the truth. That Oconee County and Pickens County are like the last stronghold of all of the nasty that is America. With the way this OCC group and a lot of folks in Pickens County have been treating their fellow man. And if you go to Travelers Rest, well, I tell you what, you get a different welcome than you get in Mountain Rest if you ain't from around there. Mm-hmm. Go to Clayton and see how you get treated as a tourist or as you know, just anybody. I'm telling you, the hateful, awful, nasty, it's just here. It's not anywhere else.
I don't know. I think it's everywhere. I mean, I do. I think it's statewide. I think in every area. I mean, look, by God, look at Horry County. Look here. It's happening in Orangeburg County.
Look at the governor, though. I mean,
yeah, it's happening.
It's a trickle down kind of thing.
Go over to Livonia.
I will agree. You can go to other. I will agree.
Anywhere around us.
Yeah, but
anywhere around us, and
Randy,
that stuff's not happening.
But what Jeff's talking about this, we don't talk national, but you look from a national perspective.
It's happening everywhere.
I mean, I only have one rule for who I support. It's just one. Have the balls to stand up for your country. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all you got to do. I don't care what do you look at somebody like Liz Cheney? Her policies and what but when you're in a triage situation, that woman stands up for our Constitution and our country, and I am not scared if somebody like that is in office. I think at that point, listen, anything else is nothing. We can work through the policies. It's what I get fearful for is my children and my grandchildren, and what the hell do they end up with? What kind of country? Literally.
I remember respect, no matter party affiliation, for the Commander-in-Chief. Sad state of affairs today. Anita posts us that. And Randy says, quote, I thought y'all were broadcasting at sea.
Is that Randy D?
That's Randy Mueller.
Hey, we're going to take a shout out to Rufus.
Rufus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rufus is a good dog.
He's a Rufus is like the best dog. He's the man.
He's a good dog.
Don't let my dogs hear that. They'll get mad at you.
Oh,
They'll
you
bite
like-
you on the way out.
You like Rufus.
Well,
Bud's a good dog too.
yeah.
Willow
But,
wants to bully me.
but
But
Willa,
hey, let's
I have a
She
book.
wants-
She's
she
went
wants
to
to
the
bully me.
OCC school of bullying.
real quick. Let's talk about Walhalla. And let's talk about what Willie thinks about
Oh,
Walhalla.
yes.
Wait a minute.
No, what about
I
that? What
didn't-
about somebody saying that somebody didn't have enough backbone? Like, why you gotta have
Oh,
backbone?
that's right.
Why you gotta have backbone to serve on the council?
That is a bunch of horse shit. A backbone.
But Willie thinks that Grant Keene only used Tyler Jordan to get where he's going because he
I-
had no name.
I have not.
No, I kind of
Wait a
think
minute.
that was.
I haven't
think
heard that.
was.
True.
Would you guys please
Spot
tell
on.
me about what that's about? I haven't
Was
heard
it-
any of
I've
that.
already told you
Hey,
that
what's
they
that?
were
You're
out
gonna-
there with
hey,
their
you're gonna
tie
knock
dyes, looking like a Grateful Dead show.
You're gonna knock stuff over.
I just
all
want.
lined up along outside the thing. I mean, it was a little nutty. I never seen anything like it.
Oh wow.
I just am really upset that they never
Matching
did find
t-shirts
the
and whatnot.
cocaine in the White House.
But back to Walhalla.
Well, tell us
We
about
got
Walhalla.
we got 5 seats plus the mayor for grabs in the next election.
Well, what did Willie
We-
say?
Willie said that Grant Keene had no name before Tyler Jordan, and he used Tyler Jordan and then discarded him, and now Tyler's off into the education system. No more politics.
But what didn't he? I thought he said something about the way Grant operates, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh no, I think he did. I can't remember what it is.
But can you imagine though? 5 seats open. The entire Walhalla government is open,
Because they're sick of it.
and then they just hired a new city administrator.
Yep.
Does anybody know her? Has she done anything? Has she got a resume? Are they going to introduce her to the community? Is she going to introduce herself to the community? All I know is I've been here since 2018, and when I drove up through Walhalla the first time, I was like, man, this is something right out of a storybook. It was great. It was awesome. And now it's starting to suffer from broken window syndrome. One business dies, the one next to it's dead. The next one's dead. Next thing you know, if they don't fix that, the whole city's going to be dead.
You had something you wanted me to play, Raney.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it real quick. I think I found it. All right, hold on just a second. Let me see if I can bring it up on screen, and there it is. All right, from the Raney Bond file.
It's our last meeting before the 5th Sunday potluck, and I am so excited. As y'all know, I was elected to potluck chair this year by a landslide, I might add. All righty, Terry with the Y. You're in charge of the drink situation. How are things on that iced tea front?
Actually, I think the drinks were Terry with an I's responsibility.
Oh, silly me, you're right. Terry with an I. Go for it, hon.
Oh, yeah. No, Linda won that election because she was qualified, not because she spent thousands of dollars putting out attack ads against me on local television stations.
She brought store-bought cookies to the Arts Council bake sale. Bethany Lynn, bad for the potluck. Bad for America.
They were expensive! They were from Publix!
It's our last.
I don't think that's not what it's like in the PTA and stuff.
And you know what? Here's the problem: is it's like that in the churches. Like that in the PTAs. It's like that everywhere.
Oh, churches can't even vote on carpet for the pews, for God's sakes.
Or you get this one church that can't decide whether or not to let men be in the nursery. It's really ridiculous.
What?
Yeah.
Or women to preach, or yeah.
Yeah.
No, whoa. They can't be in, men can't be in the nursery.
Well, that's what some folks at this one church have
In
stood up
Oconee
against.
County?
Yeah.
Oh, that
yeah.
makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
But anyway, I think there's some OCC influence in that. But
Well,
the thing is that pettiness that from the PTA level is happening all the way to the national level. And we don't have any decorum between candidates. We don't have any decorum between either side of the fence on any issue or at the local level. Look at the way the way those three treat Elliott and
let me just
Davis.
say that I did have decorum when I ran.
But it was, there was none used against you.
Well,
they had the people running against you.
You might as well not have. I mean,
had no decorum.
do what you want.
Don never attacked me.
No, he didn't.
But he got his buddies did.
By proxy, he attacked you.
Okay. Well, I disagree, but still.
Yeah, if you don't call it off and call it out, you're guilty.
If he didn't stand up against it, then he was for it.
Well, the other thing that
is acceptance.
Well, it's just like David Nick says I was convicted in the Barkey thing. That's
slander.
Yeah. And he still denies he said it.
But he wrote it.
And we have the snapshot of it.
Well, he said the same thing when he did the slur. He said he never wrote it, and then I threw it up, and I didn't hear from him.
By the
went
way,
down a rat hole.
Let me see. My good friend Michael Gilstrap, I hope that you're doing well, Michael. Michael had heart surgery just a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
I've laughed so hard. A few hundred years ago, we would have been the Hispanics, and the Indians would have been us.
Right.
Right. True.
I know. How many times have I said the only thing that's wrong with this OCC group is they're just afraid that what's going to happen to them when they are a minority in this country is what happened when their pawpaw and his pawpaw did to the people that were here before him.
Oh, you're right. All right, folks, we have come to the end of the show, and my friends, we have had a wonderful, wonderful show this evening. And losing a few didn't hurt because we're actually over a record for live show.
Really?
Yeah, it's way up there. We got like 4 tonight.
I love this.
Are you serious? 4?
4.
Wow.
No, we actually got way more than 4.
How much? We got 5?
All right,
we
so
got more than 5.
Before we go, I need you to talk about the Korean thing.
Yeah, give me just a second. Let me pull this up here. This is coming up over in 6 Mile. And there it is on the screen. The town of 6 Mile and 6 Mile veterans warmly invite the public to honor local Korean War veterans on the 70th anniversary of the armistice signing ending the Korean War hostilities. And that'll be coming up on Thursday, July 22nd, or 27th, that is, 12 noon at 6 Mile Town Hall, located there on Main Street in 6 Mile. Lunch will be provided for the Korean War veterans in the town hall following the ceremony. And if you need more information, they invite you to, you can call 864-643-9197 or email superfibarn@gmail.com. That's SEMPERFIBARN@gmail.com. And again, that's Thursday, July 27th.
And here's the thing about that, Jeff. I talked to Tom Von Canel. He's the CEO of the Semper Fi Barn over there. And he said if there's Korean War veterans that want to come to that lunch and don't have transportation, to call that number and he will come get them himself. He will make sure that any war veteran that wants to be there and have lunch can be there. And that's not just for people in 6 Mile. That if you're listening and you're in Livonia, I think that he'll probably come get you. Now if you're in Michigan or something, that might be a stretch. But for real, give him a call and come out and be recognized. I mean, those guys' service to the country was some of the most important stuff that's ever happened.
Richard, thank you so much for the comments. Richard said, thanks for a great show tonight. Richard, we appreciate that. Roger, as always, thank you for your comments. Great show. Rather than inflate the ego, I'll say great job, Cathy Sam's Littleton. I love Roger. Karen said, let's see, Arnita says, my dad served in Korea. Cousin Brad says, very informative. Thanks, Cousin Brad. And let's see, I do want to make one other mention real quickly. This morning, my world kind of got turned upside down. Someone that I really knew and respected all these years and kind of built the old formative years of me. That was Perry Wald, passed away. And a lot of folks up in Walhalla know Perry. And Perry did a little hand in raising me through the years, taught me to be a man. And he was one of my... I tell you, the older I get, the more I realize I hate getting old because I'm seeing people that I respect and love around me pass away at a rapid clip, and I hate this part of life. But Perry, Shelley, Kayla, and Wanda and your family, thoughts and prayers go out to you. And again, Perry, let's go chugging one more time. That's all I want to say about that.
Don't forget about Wednesday.
Yes, Mr. Republican.
You want to talk about Wednesday?
Yes. Okay. So there is a special show that we will be broadcasting on the road starting at 7 o'clock from the Malibu Court Estates overlooking beautiful Lake Kiwi at the Global Elitist Headquarters compound on Lake Kiwi. Airtime is 7 o'clock, and you all need to be joining us because we're going to break down the conservative bonds. We're gonna break down conservative bonds. Rannie, you're going to be at a top secret location with the show, correct?
I am. So a couple of us are going to invest in some property, and I think you say 3,000 acres.
Yeah.
Or plus.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I'm being sent to Texas.
Okay.
To look at a
And the cattle. You know, we're going out
we're
with the
gonna
cattle.
have, we're
too.
gonna have, you got a hat, I'll have cattle, right?
No, we're being serious here.
So yeah, I'm gonna be in Texas. I'll come on live with you guys. Y'all be over there. I think it's a good opportunity to take this this show national.
Yeah. Well, I've already got somebody calling wanting it.
All right.
Yeah, we've already got a radio station wanting to air it.
So my final comments is my ex-girlfriend is at home waiting for me, and I need to get on back there.
Well, wait a minute. All I said was Wednesday. I didn't get my final.
Well, we're going around. Kathy's next, and
All
then
right,
you're
all
coming up. Go ahead, Kathy.
Hey, I'm good. I'll see you guys Wednesday.
Okay. All right. Ruin.
Well, if you insist.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's all stand
Wait,
for Prince
no,
Ruin.
no, you can't. Hey, wait a minute. Don't hang up. Don't hang up the show, folks. All right. Here's the thing. I only got one thing. This is the shirt that I wore tonight. With you people as everyone, I'm dedicating that to my friends Mary Ann and Susan. And that's all I wanted to say.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be live from the Malibu compound overlooking Lake Kiwi, 7 o'clock Wednesday night. We hope that you will tune in because I guarantee you it's going to be a show, one for the ages. So for Ruin, for Rannie, for Cathy, Jazzy Jeff, for Uma, who is barking downstairs, who's upset and mad about the cowbell, I'll see you Wednesday, 7 o'clock, right here on Let's Talk Oconee SC, and also, too, on LakeKiwiRadioOnline.com. We'll see you Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Have a good evening, everybody.